Rise and grind, fam. What's the word, y'all? So I wanted to take some time to make a quick video. I had made a tweet last night, and Chris, CJ, he actually retweeted it. And that shit kind of got me some traction, but I also posted it on IG. But I just wanted to be more like transparent and public. And you know, like, I just want to teach people at the end of the day and just be transparent with my journey, because you got some people out here that have been locked in with this Bitcoin journey for a long time. And you know, when I started posting these things, I just don't want people to think that I think myself that I'm an expert, or that I know more than them, or even that I have more than them. It's not even about me owning more Bitcoin than most people. It's really just sharing that knowledge and that opportunity with the people around me, the people that follow me, the people that eventually will follow me. You know, at some point you gotta lock in and be consistent with something, you know? And I just got tired. Like, I've always been infatuated with the idea of learning about money. Like, not from coming from a family of not having money. It's just a natural byproduct of like, okay, how do you get money? And that just always led me to like grinding, working my ass off for money. And that's what we're taught. We're taught to trade our most valuable asset, which is our time and energy, in exchange for dollars, for what we call money, right? And as the journey goes on, you see people, I mean, obviously I'm a young man, so when you're young, shout out to all my OGs, when you're young and you're in a working environment that you can't tolerate, that you can't stand, that you don't even want to be there, but you're working there for the money, and you start looking around and you start seeing all these older people that have been there for 15, 10, 20, 25 years. And if you're not aware of it, if you don't pay close enough attention, that's a dangerous setup, because you can be right where those people are at. And no disrespect to them, but some people don't have anything to show for all the time and energy that they've exhausted. And some people unfortunately just work until they die with nothing to show for it. And I just always knew that that wasn't the path for me. I was able to pick up on that and realize, like, yo, like, I want to have abundance in my life. Like, I want to have money, but I also want that freedom that comes with the money. I don't just want the money, I want the freedom. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to splurge on my family. I want to be able to be fly, be in the flyest whips, the flyest hotels. Like, I want all of that. I want all that abundance. And you know, you have to really dive deep and understand, like, yo, like, am I working for nothing? I used to have terrible, just shitty financial habits. So I had to take a look in the mirror and really examine my habits, what I got going on, and why I was still in the position that I was in. And this is the transparent part of my journey. Like, I started posting about Bitcoin. I started telling everybody around me about Bitcoin, but by no means am I an expert, right? I started taking my journey serious when I started listening to CJ 2024, last year. I started listening to him at the top of the year. He put out a challenge to his people, to all the people in his community, saying, hey, I challenge y'all to get 1 Bitcoin. And at the time, my conviction wasn't 100% fully there, but I just understood, like, okay, this guy is 100% fully convinced. At least at that point in where I found him at in his journey, his conviction was down pat, signed and sealed. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. The way he could talk about it with so much conviction, and he could just drop gems, like, that shit is nice. So I'm like paying attention to him. I'm seeing his people. I'm seeing his portfolios go up. I'm seeing like just the lifestyle, and the lifestyle is what really gets me every time. So I'm like, but hold on, I can't cheat the process. Like, he got there through putting in that work. So I started slowly depositing, you know, $100 here, $50 here. At that time, I was also buying stocks that obviously produce dividends, that pay out dividends. So I'm like buying stocks, I'm buying Bitcoin, $50 here, $50 there. But it wasn't until election time, when Trump was about to win the elections, and Bitcoin just started going crazy. And at that time, through my investments, my consistent investments or purchases, I had like $750 in Bitcoin, and it started going from 69, 70, 71. And we all remember that shit jumped from 70 all the way to all-time highs in the 90,000s, and then slowly but surely it broke past 100K for the first time. But in that process, I'm just looking at my portfolio, and my Bitcoin is doing numbers, and I see the dollars are doing numbers. So I'm like, I'm not buying more Bitcoin, but my dollars, the value of the Bitcoin that I own, is going stupid. So that was where I was like, hold on, bro. I really got to lock in and understand what is going on here. Obviously, I understand like inflation. I understand CPI. I've been reading books on like how money is created. And I always knew like, yo, the dollar is not the best thing to hold. So that's why I was buying stocks. I was learning how to trade, whatever the case may be. But I haven't mastered anything at that point. So that's when I decided to dive deep, like November, December, January. That's when I was the most locked in. I started watching any Michael Saylor video I could find, Lynn Alden, the guy that wrote The Price of Tomorrow. I can't remember his name right now. And then there's a specific documentary series by Mike Maloney. It's called the Hidden Money Secrets, or I have to look it up and I'm gonna post it, but the secrets, damn man, I'm gonna look it up. But just look up Mike Maloney or Gold and Silver on YouTube, and he has a whole documentary series just breaking down like, yo, what is money? Where did money come from? What is money even used for? What is our most respective asset, which is our energy, which is our time. And you know, it just goes and breaks down like, yo, this shit isn't even real. Like, we were convinced, and this happened recent, like 100 years ago, we were convinced that dollars are what we should be working for, when in reality, dollars are created to fail, like intentionally. Any fiat currency, any dollar that a government or that a man can print more of on demand is doomed to fail from creation. I was reading a book called The Creature of Jekyll Island. Amazing book, pretty lengthy, but it's an amazing book. And it's just talking about how the Federal Reserve, was created. And we've all heard of the Federal Reserve, but we don't really look too deep into them. And we just think that they're a government entity and that they're here to, you know, regulate interest rates and regulate inflation and whatever the case may be. That's what we were told. But when you look into them, you realize that they're not even a government entity. They're a private entity owned by the richest families in the world and solely created for the purpose of keeping us, the majority of the people, poor and stuck in place, because they control the money supply. They control what happens to money, right? They were the ones that created income taxes. They were the ones that took us off the gold standard. They were the ones that knew like, hey, if we can control the money supply, we'll forever be rich, and we'll just have these people working for something fake, and we'll just give it purpose. We'll say that, hey, this is valuable because we say so. The dollar is only valuable because they say so. It's not backed by anything, right? When Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1973, and this is a whole lot of game, when Nixon took us off the gold standard in 1973, essentially what he did was he doomed us to fail. Like, at that time, many people didn't realize it, and the people that did realize it, they're like, hold on, bro, what's going on? Because at that time, you were able to trade the dollars that you have in your pocket. They were certificates. You were able to go to the bank and trade that $20 bill for $20 worth of gold, because commodities like gold and silver, hard assets, that's what retains and holds value over time. You can't make more of it per se, right? So they took us off of that and said, hey, you can no longer trade your dollars for gold. And if you have gold, we need that. We need you to run that. You can't have that anymore. So now they have all the gold, plus now they're just printing at free will. Nobody can tell them how much they can print, a limit or whatever. And every dollar that's created into existence today is backed by debt. So if you think about it, I haven't checked recently, but the last time I checked, we were at $36 trillion worth of debt as a country. 37 trillion. All that money is backed by debt. It's created out of thin air. So for every dollar that is made, there's twice that debt made. So if we pay off all that debt, there won't be any money circulating. right? These are things that I was able to learn and pick up and just hear smarter people than me say. And it just really opens your eyes, because it's like, damn, myself, my family, my parents, shit, maybe even my grandparents, we've been fooled from the get-go, right? We played right into their hands by adopting something that was doomed to fail from the beginning. And yeah, they say make your money work for you, invest, and whatever the case may be, but that's about it. There's not that many people teaching about it. And there's not that many people willing to learn about it either, because all they want to do is, which respectfully, work in their chosen career field and live life, which shout out to them. There's no disrespect. That's what you should be able to do. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. That's not, the powers that be didn't make it for us to enjoy the fruits of our labor, right? So you have to be smart enough to go get your own gain, to go get your own knowledge, and then to also seek out experts in that field that have been doing this for a while. People like Michael Saylor, people like Lynn on, people like the company that at Swan Bitcoin, like, bro, Chris, CJ, that man opened my eyes, bro. And I'm not even in his community. I'm just smart enough to peep game and stay consistent with the value that he's dropping, you know? So I just wanted to be transparent. I'm still on my journey. I'm still reading. I've read about 4 Bitcoin books, maybe 5 or 6. And bro, every time you learn something, you just know that you still don't know shit. Like, there's just so much to this. And it's a beautiful game, because we still gotta work. But now you shift your perspective from what's your most valuable asset? Is it your money, or is it your time and energy? And then you realize, like, shit, there's only a certain amount of time that I can work, right? So you have to be careful on where you're storing your value, because if you store your value in dollars, you still believe in dollars, right? And you're saving money, which you should be. You should be able to save your money for something in the future. But if our government just continues to print more and more dollars, the value of a dollar decreases over time. That's why things get more expensive. You have $100, but the $100 that you have right now in 2025, it's not gonna buy you the same amount of things that it could buy you back in 2020, shit, back in 2010, right? Same $100 bills, way less value. So the whole point is to understand that you should be able to work, you should be able to do what you gotta do, get fly, take care of your family, hit the gym, whatever. But also buy Bitcoin, store your value, your time and energy into Bitcoin, because that's the one asset, in my opinion. You have to go do your own knowledge. In my opinion, that's gonna hold its value, but also grow in value over time, because nobody can control it. There's no one printing more of it. It has a limited amount, 21 million ever to be created. And we're at about 19 million that's been created already, that's been mined, right? These things, a new block is born every 10 minutes. These are things that you have to go learn. These are things that you have to sit down, put your pride, put your ego to the side, and realize, like, hey, I don't know shit. You have to do that. You have to put that to the side and realize, like, yo, I gotta sit down and lock in. 1,000 hours is what they say. Dedicate 1,000 hours, pick up one book, read or listen to one podcast. I promise you that rabbit hole is gonna be so worth it, because Bitcoin is solving a problem that everybody has. Shoot, people want to hold their value, and other people want to see their savings increase over time. That's it, right? So I just wanted to be transparent in my journey, man. Like, these are things that I'm learning, I'm still learning, and I'm still gonna continue moving forward learning. But I wanted to help other people open their eyes to it too. And I'm not saying don't trade, don't do what you're doing. Like, I have people telling me, oh, buy this and buy that. I'm like, nah, bro. For me, Bitcoin only. I've gotten to that point where I realized, like, I'm gonna still make my money in different ways, but where I'm storing my value is a conscious and intentional decision of, I want to keep my value, my money, my currency in Bitcoin, because I know that it's not gonna fail me over the long run, right? So yeah, man, I just wanted to be transparent in my journey. Like, I'm not an expert, I'm still learning. I just got in this past halving. That's how new. And you're not late. We're not late to the game. Like, it might feel like it, and people say, like, you get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. Absolutely true. My conviction came in around 70,000. Now we're just breaking all-time highs at 110, 111,000. And that's just a start, man. That's just a start. So go take the time, do the knowledge, go learn, go pick up a book, man. You won't regret it. This money rabbit hole, that's what Bitcoin taught me. It taught me to go deeper into money. That money rabbit hole, oh man, that shit'll open your eyes, bro. And you won't ever look at it the same, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. But yeah, bro, take the time, put your pride, put your ego to the side, realize that the more you know, the more you know you don't know, right? That's a bar. So God bless y'all, man. I'm gonna keep y'all updated on this journey. And shit, remember, freedom is the overall goal. And yes, we want to be rich, but freedom is the goal. Time freedom, location freedom, economic freedom, bro. Abundance. Like Chris says, abundance, man. That's it.